Second hour of the Elias Macco Show. Feel free to spill the beans on the text line, 514-790-0800. Let me know who you're voting for. Why not? It's pretty anonymous. I mean, you can give me your first name if you want. Let me know who you're voting for. Election day, of course, is on Monday. With that in mind, with the final weekend of the election campaign ahead, let's head over to Antonine Yaccarini, political analyst extraordinaire. Welcome back, Antonine. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, listen, over the last half hour or so, and you might have heard it in Trudy Mason's newscast, we have touched upon this scandal from the last 24 hours of should Mark Carney have told Canadians on March 28th that Donald Trump said, hey, 51st state once again. I do want to know your take on this. Is this a story? How do you view how both Mark Carney has handled this and the opposition parties in the last day?
I think it's really disappointing, actually, because when you think about it, we were kind of, relieved to learn that this call between Mr. Carney and Mr. Trump was not about that 51st state craziness. It is something that creates a lot of fear among the citizens, and Mr. Carney led us to believe that this nightmare was behind us, that we were past that, and that the two men were able to talk about the real stuff, and that the United States were respecting our sovereignty. So to learn from sources that Mr. Trump brought that thing again, this is very, very disappointing as a whole thing, but also it says a lot about Mr. Carney's ways to not tell the whole truth. It makes me think about, when he refused to debate at the TVA debate, the face à face. He told us that one of the reasons was that the Green Party was not invited at this debate.
Yeah.
And we all knew that was total BS.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings a doubt about that man, and it reminds us that we don't know him very well, and we are not sure he's telling the whole truth all the time to us.
There's been a couple of more examples, right? Like, I remember the Brookfield headquarters move when he told journalists that he wasn't there at Brookfield when it happened, and then we all found out, oh, yep, you were there, there's your signature. And then even a little thing like Sean Fraser, right? The day that he announced that Sean Fraser was going to run for the party, in the morning he's like, yeah, well, I don't know what Sean Fraser will do. And then an hour later he had a campaign event with him, right? So there's a couple of those things. But I guess I have to ask you, if he had come out and said, yep, Donald Trump brought up 51st state, this is serious, I think it would have been beneficial to him, no? Like, it certainly seems that 51st state has been a good thing for Mark Carney.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right, because that ballot question during this election, who is the best person to face Donald Trump? And each time Trump is presented in this campaign, it seems to be beneficial for Mr. Carney. So it's really weird. I think maybe it's lack of experience in politics that pushes him to, make weird choices. I think that was a really weird choice. And to think that no one would know that this 51st state thing was brought is totally crazy to me. Truth always comes out.
It's so funny because I know his advisors at one point must have told him, listen, just don't do the white lie stuff, okay? Don't do any of that white lie stuff. And then he shows up at Cinq Chefs, Une Élection, the Radio Canada show, and he's asked about, hey, will you buy American strawberries? And then he's too truthful. He's like, well, I don't buy my strawberries. I don't buy any groceries. so he's
got to find the right balance.
That's right. Don't lie, but don't be too truthful. Happy medium. Okay. So Antonine, excuse me. You're looking at the same polls everyone else is looking at. I looked at 3 polls from the last 12 hours. One has a 3-point lead, one has a 4-point lead, one has a 5-point lead for the Liberals. Let's even it out, 4-point lead. Is all of this talk for nothing? Is the die cast? Do we know what's happening on Monday?
The real poll is on Monday. So I don't want to say that everything is over. As long as all the votes are in the ballots, we cannot say that it's over. But we've seen a very solid and coherent trend during this campaign. This campaign was really tailor-made for Mr. Carney. It was a short campaign. It was a careful campaign. We were talking a lot about the United States, and we know it was beneficial for Mr. Carney. And let's remember, when we look at the polls, we could think that it is close for the Conservatives. The Liberals have 3-4 points in advance, but we have to remember that Conservatives need more national score than the Liberals to be able to form the government, and because of the concentration of the vote. So it would be a big surprise if on Monday we had a conservative government. I think that the question remaining now is, will we have a majority government or a minority government? And I think pretty early in the night, in the evening, we will have clues about this question. We will see first in the east, in the Maritime, if this is the red wave we are expecting, and then it will be Quebec and Ontario. Mr. Poilievre, in the last few days, I think he made many mistakes, and one of them is to attack public servants very aggressively, since you really need to get those votes in Ontario and in Ottawa, in Toronto and its surroundings. I'm not sure he really managed to be attractive for a number of ridings in Ontario. Just around Toronto, you have 40 ridings just there. So the election will really be played in Ontario and in Toronto. So that will be because we know that in the West, Conservatives are doing really, really well, but the concentration of the vote and the number of riding is not enough in the West
doesn't help
put
them.
the Conservative in power.
They can win a ton of ridings with 80% of the vote in Alberta. Doesn't help them in Ontario. Doesn't help them in Quebec. Let's just wrap up here on this one on Quebec, and maybe we talk about the Bloc and the NDP in this. Can they save their sauver les meubles? Like can they pull off enough of a victory to remain relevant?
I think the Bloc had a very slow start in this campaign, and it's often the case, actually. In 2021, it was the same. I think they were able to avoid the disaster. They will probably lose a few seats. This ballot question is really difficult for the Bloc Québécois, and the first 2 weeks of the campaign were all about Mr. Trump, and the Bloc Québécois was not able to score any points at this time. The big moment for the Bloc Québécois and for Mr. Blanchet is the debates, because he's a very good debater. We know it was going to be a turning point for the campaign, and I think he was able to bring the importance of defending economic sectors in Quebec, like agriculture, like aluminium. He was able to talk about immigration, language, and other issues that were not really discussed in the beginning of the campaign. So I think they will lose a few MPs, but I don't think it's going to be a complete catastrophe like we were expecting at the start of this campaign. But for the NDP, it's a very different story. Yeah. It's not a good campaign. It's like Mr. Singh is carrying Mr. Trudeau's legacy on his shoulders. Mr. Carney managed to detach himself from Mr. Trudeau, and it seems like it's Mr. Singh that is bringing that heaviness on his shoulders. Yeah. People seem to perceive this record, the NDP record, as a negative thing. And the NDP is at risk of ending up with less than 10 MPs on Monday. And Mr. Singh himself is in danger in his riding.
That riding could go to the Conservatives, for crying out loud. It's unbelievable. So, Antonine, listen, I have it on good authority. You're going to join us post-election on Tuesday, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. See you then, and have a great weekend and a happy Election Monday.
Thank you. You too.
Antonine Yaccarini there, political analyst.